Hei, terveisiä viherpäiviltä. Ollaan täällä Björn Embrenin kanssa ja seuraavaksi tehdään haastattelu englanniksi. Toivottavasti pysytte mukana. Welcome, Björn Embren.
Thank you very much.
Free officer of Stockholm. Yeah, that's the main. And have you enjoyed your stay in Finland?
So far, yes. Yeah, I came in the middle of the night, so I mostly slept since I came here. But yeah, it's a wonderful day so far.
Okay. Yeah. You have a starting lecture at 3 o'clock, and its subject is that named good results when biochar is used in urban plantings. And you have used biochar in planting substrate for 9 years since 2009. Why was that so important from Stockholm City to find the different solutions for urban plantings?
It all started with trees that didn't want to grow in the city, in the urban environments, and we really were looking into different solutions to get trees to grow in urban environments, and this was just one step in that work that we were doing. We have been working with stone materials since 2002, 2003, and this was just a step in the development, and we tried to plant trees in just stones, and we wanted to have some water holding capacity in the upper layer where we want to have grass on top of that stone that we planted the trees in, and then after we have tried that and realized the capacity of the charcoal that we mixed with the common soil, we realized that we were on track on something that could really solve the problem with water holding capacity. And that was 2009, and since that we have been doing research and different trials to develop a undestructible soil, a soil that you can't destruct. Destroy. I mean. Yeah. So that was have been our main reason, just to look and find a soil that you can't destroy in the construction time, when you do the construction, and when you maintain the soil afterwards, and it will stay. It will be a good soil for a long time, and you don't have to maintain it, because the knowledge about how to handle soil in the construction sites and also in the maintenance time after the construction is so low now. So we have to find some other kind of soils that can take all this unknowledge about how to handle it. And because we don't cultivate the soil anymore in the cities, there is no money to maintain it in that way. Not in Stockholm anyway, perhaps in other countries, cities, but not in Stockholm. So we really have to find something that could stand time and still be working good for the plants.
Okay. How widely is now the biochar in use? Is it only in Stockholm or in other countries too?
No, it's spreading really fast now, and it's spreading in Sweden. So Uppsala, Helsingborg is doing big projects around it, and it's a lot of small cities also make their first efforts to use the biochar, and so it's spreading surprisingly fast, I should say.
Okay.
I mean, California is looking into this way of using organic waste. I mean, they have 70 million dead trees in California, and they really need to have some solution what they should do with all these dead trees. And one solution is to make biochar of it, and use it as plant bed materials, and then in that way they can increase the water holding capacity in the ground, and they really have a problem with water in California. So this is something really big for them. They were one of the first other states that contacted us when we started our projects with biochar in Stockholm. They realized quite fast that this is something that they could be using too.
Okay, so biochar is a huge thing for the water capacity and the well behavior for trees now.
Yeah.
But does the research continue to find something?
All the time. We really try to see what we could make better all the time, and try to find new solutions, and try to find a way to make our the mix of the ingredients, and all the ingredients should be recycled material. So that's the main thing, to find a good fertilizer that comes from recycling some material, and perhaps from the biogas business or something like that, so we can be fully recycled soil, or what you should call it, I don't know. It's soil, but it looks a bit different to the soil we are used to, and then we can stop using infinite resources. That we don't want to use natural gravel and sand and things like that. We don't want to use peat moss and peat moss and clay and things. We don't need it anymore. And the solution is biochar, because it has these good benefits, the water holding capacity, and it can clean water, and it can store nutrients and things like that. So, yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And this is just the beginning, I promise you. This is the beginning, and so the research efforts are coming now and in the future.
Yeah. How the biochar is used in construction? Is when in use, can the biochar be applied as like a fertilizer on the top, or is it mixed on the layers?
You can use it in different ways. If you have your soil in your garden or in where you grow things, you can put it on top and just cultivate it in the surface, and you can put it just where you have your seeds out, and you put it in the seed line, and just a small amount of biochar, and you get good effects. And you can mix the whole soil with biochar, and it give good effects. And you can use it as we do, mix it with stones, and you get a material that can infiltrate big amounts of stormwater immediately, and give extremely good benefits in the environment.
Okay. Is there something we should know beforehand using something, how it's like its behavior in the soil?
Yeah, it's good to know how it behaves, because it's easy to think, oh, we mix in a lot of biochar. No, that's not the solution. You should know how much you should mix in the ground, because you can mix too much. You don't get. It's not beneficial to mix too much biochar in the soil. So that's knowledge you have to have. Know how much you should mix in the soil, in the ground, and and of course you have to know what kind of biochar you're using. Is it a good biochar, or what's the
Can you tell from your experience what is a good
biochar?
What is the big difference between different biochars?
It's the size of the particles could be a big difference. It could have these really fine materials, and then you can, as charcoal, bigger, really big things, and it depends on what you want to reach. If you want to mix it in the common soil, then it's perhaps to use the more fine material, so you get it really a good mix with the old soil. But if you work with stones, you perhaps want to have a bigger size that will keep for centuries, thousands of years, if you have a bigger fraction of the materials. And in that way you will keep the carbon dioxide locked down in the soil for a longer time. Because if the bigger particles you have, and the stronger particles, they will stay for a long time before it breaks down to carbon dioxide again. So finer grades breaks down faster. So you have to think about a good level depending on what you want to use it for.
Okay, okay.
So that's also research needed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
point out this is the best value if you use this one.
Yeah.
And it's so many factors. Depends on how you produce the biochar, and it depends on what the material you're using to make the biochar. If it's a waste from the sewage system, or if it's old trees from the forest, you get totally different materials.
Okay, so that vary to the grain size. That do you use powder or pieces?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's so many different ways that you have to understand, but so far it works very well, even if you don't know exactly what you get. But it's good to know what the material that you make biochar, where it comes from. You have to know knowledge about that, because so you don't get something that's polluted with heavy metals or something like that. You have to know it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know any examples from Finland that is used?
Yeah, we have bought a lot of fine biochar from Finland and Germany and Austria and England too. Okay. So and a lot of from Sweden too. But that's one of the problems, is there's not so much biochar on the market. So so far it went well, and now we have our own small biochar plant in Stockholm that produce biochar from the garden waste from the houses or the people in Stockholm from the gardens. We take care of the garden waste and make our own biochar from that. But it's not enough for what we are doing.
Okay. Okay, so we keep waiting for the research and see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you for your presentation in here, and have a nice stay in Finland.
Yeah,
thank you so much, Björn Embren.
Thank you. Thank you.